Hi, everyone. Welcome to Live on KEXP at Home. I'm Larry Rose, your host today, and I'm super excited to be talking with Spencer Miles Allen, who records as Spencer, period.
What's up?
And he's going to be sharing some live music with us today. Welcome, Spencer.
Thank you. Nice to see you, Larry.
Very excited to have you here. I am a big fan. We get a lot of singles in here at KEXP, and I go through them every week, and yours definitely stood out for me, and I was super excited when I was asked to do this. So
that's awesome.
Thank you for joining us today. Are you hanging out in Brooklyn right now?
Yeah, I'm in my apartment. This is my room right here.
Nice.
My desk and everything back behind me.
Cool. Well, I've got a bunch of questions for you, and you can also ask questions in the chat. I'll be checking those out as well. Just go to the chat and put in your questions. But why don't we start out with a song?
Cool.
Maybe life's a joke. I feel like my soul is stuck. Maybe you should float. Yeah, I've been on the road enough. I've been feeling low, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on. Maybe life's a joke. I feel like my soul is stuck. Maybe you should float. Yeah, I've been on the road enough. I've been feeling low, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on. I talk in ways you like, I walk in the way you like, lost sight of my own life. Too cool for winter time. My friends don't go outside, only when it feels right. Lost in the clouds, I'm lost in the clouds. I'm not coming down, I'm on my way up. Cumulonimbus had got me stuck. In a few weeks I'll be 21, 2020 my vision till 20-some. I've been working like I'm scared of growing up. Hey, I'm scared of growing up. If you like me, don't tell me, cause I'ma run with it. Life is a game, I'm just having fun with it. Shooting my shot, I'm just like a gun with it. I'm just like a gun. If I don't pick up, just know that the blunt did it. Following trends, I ain't having none of it. I ain't having none of it. Maybe life's a joke. I feel like my soul is stuck. Maybe you should float. Yeah, I've been on the road enough. I've been feeling low, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on, like I'm barely holding on. Maybe life's a joke. I feel like my soul is stuck. Maybe you should float. Yeah, I've been on the road enough. I've been feeling low, like I'm barely holding up, like I'm barely holding up, like I'm barely holding up.
Spencer live at home on KEXP with a song called Automatic. Man, I love that song so much. The first time I heard it, it was stuck in my head for like a week.
Thank you.
So great.
I love that. I love that one. I had to put that one first for sure.
Nice. You released that one late last year. Is that right?
In 2019.
Cool.
The fall.
Yeah, man, the bass line just slaps on that song.
Thank you.
So great. And the video, I wanted to mention the video for that. It's just really professionally done. It looks like a movie. How did that come about?
It's crazy. That one was, I guess, because it was like the first 4AD release, and so we were really excited to like kind of make like a bigger entrance with like me putting music out for the first time in like a year. And so that one was really cool. We shot it in Little Italy, in New York here, and it was just really sick. Everybody on the team was like super nice, and like it was just really cool experience to work with like a team for the first time. But yeah, it was sick.
Yeah, it really comes across great. Highly recommend that video if you haven't had a chance to check it out. I wanted to go back and just talk about your musical background. You grew up in Rochester, New York?
Yeah, upstate New York, Rochester, New York.
Yeah. When did you start playing music?
I guess I started with piano when I was really young, at like maybe like 4 or 5. I'm like not as good as somebody who started playing at 4 or 5, but that's kind of my entry point. I really wanted to play trumpet, and so I started playing trumpet in middle school. And in Rochester, we have a music school called Eastman there, and they have like a lot of community programs. And so like I was able to take private lessons for trumpet, and I took private lessons for piano. And then I guess in high school, I started trying to learn other instruments because I was playing trumpet in jazz band and started playing in other bands, and realizing that like I can't play all the time if I'm playing trumpet. It's only like small, like little horn parts. And so I kind of started the bass because that's like a consistent instrument in a song. And then tried to like figure out how to play drums and guitar, and got back into piano and just like started producing. But really all came in like high school, I feel like.
Yeah, and it sounds like music was in your DNA. Your middle name is Miles, after Miles Davis, is that right?
Yeah. That's always funny to say because I ended up playing trumpet, but yeah.
Yeah. Are your parents big music fans?
It's interesting. Neither of my parents play anything. My dad is the music fan, though. He definitely put me on to like a lot of soul and like gospel when I was young, and kind of like trained my ear to like a lot of certain stuff that he liked. So I definitely think that the Miles name is appropriate. He's definitely a music fan.
Nice. And they're, at least one of your parents are chemists, is that right?
Yeah, they're both chemists.
They're both okay.
Yeah, they both like met in chemistry class in like college. It was really funny.
Oh wow, does that play into your music at all in any way?
It's definitely interesting for like, I think it just plays into my relationship with them, because I guess with my mom, who's a chemist, I feel like doesn't really know as much about music industry. My dad is like also really hands-on and like really is super into like the process of me making stuff and the marketing and all that stuff. Sure.
Yeah. I guess, making music is in some way chemistry. You're putting together all the different instruments.
That's a great way to
songs.
put it.
When did you start writing music?
After my freshman year of college, so I guess in like 2017, I like in the summer just started, I don't know, I was kind of coming out of my shell and like making a lot more friends in my hometown and like in college. And I'd always been making beats since high school, and I just wanted to make a couple songs for my friends to basically hear. So I like worked that summer to like make a 3-song EP, and that ended up being just the Visceral Love EP I put out in 2017, which is just kind of crazy. It's like the first stuff I've ever like sung on or like written at all. But
oh wow,
yeah.
And then did you go to college to study music sound recording? Was that after that?
I went to I guess it was during.
Okay.
I went to college for 2 years before I dropped out, and I went to SUNY Fredonia, kind of outside of Buffalo, New York.
Yeah.
And they were a really great program. I just don't think it was for me. I definitely was into other things.
Yeah, and it sounded like you were ready to make music, and I think I read you gave yourself a year to make it.
Yeah. No, it was like after dropping out after the second year and kind of like intentionally trying to like sabotage my college experience that year. I like kind of had to deal with my parents that like I would move to New York, and if I didn't really make a career for myself or like a name for myself really in that year, then I would go back to school, like whether it would be like back to Fredonia or like community. But I definitely think I made the right choice.
Definitely. And we're very happy you did. Why don't we get into another song? This next song is Maybe, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And that's your latest single?
Yes, it is.
Man, I love this song as well. Let's hear Maybe. It's Spencer live at home on KEXP.
I've been on my lonesome and you call me and I phone in. All my plans say they ain't happening, and next morning I blow you up again. You ain't having it. You ain't having it. You ain't having it. Always you've been running around my mind all night, babe. Leave me feeling hypnotized the right way. Loving you is problematic. Girl, you got me automatic. I went out last weekend 'cause my phone says we ain't speaking, and I'm just about to get over it. But this evening you blew me up again. I ain't having it. I ain't having it. I ain't having it. Always you be running around my mind all night, babe. Leave me feeling hypnotized the right way. Loving you is problematic. Girl, you got me automatic. Always you've been running around my mind, babe. Leave me feeling hypnotized the right way. Loving you is problematic. Someday you make me wanna walk away. Promise it won't be today. Baby girl, I'm here to stay till it comes around someday. Make me wanna walk away. Promise it won't be today. Baby girl, I'm here to stay. Always you've been running around my mind all night, babe. Leave me feeling hypnotized the right way. Loving you is problematic. Girl, you got me automatic.
Spencer live at home on KEXP with Maybe, the latest single. Man, I love it. I love the just the beats behind it. I love the beats behind all your songs, but man, that one just so great.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you I think I heard you mention that a lot of your songs deal with the idea of problematic love. This new song maybe seems more autobiographical, more introspective. Can you talk a little bit about that? And is this a new approach to songwriting?
I mean, yeah, I like definitely will write songs about love and relationships and stuff like that. And I more recently have been trying to just find my voice and figure out like what else I have to say. And maybe it was kind of the thought process of me like kind of dropping out of college and kind of being in college and everything, and like kind of just like following expectations and like moving in the way that like other people like and stuff. It was kind of just about like defying expectations, and so I just felt like that was like an important part of my story to tell. Yeah.
Well, it sounds great. I also wanted to ask you about the video for that song. Maybe it's animation, and did you play a part in putting that together? This is very cool.
Just a little bit, actually. What's cool about that video is because the song came out during like I guess like the midst of the quarantine.
Yeah.
We didn't really get to like shoot anything because it would have been difficult with like everybody being in their houses. And so, actually, this girl from my high school, Sabrina Nichols, who is actually working for 4AD, made the video, and it was a suggestion of mine to have her do the video. I don't even know if they knew that she did animation at that point, but it's really cool that she was able to do it because like it's like kind of takes place in Rochester. If you're from Rochester, you notice like the bridge and like I don't know. It's just like a really cool vibe. I really like that one because it's like kind of different from the other ones, and her style is like really sick.
Definitely, yeah. I noticed the song "Hold It Down" also has animation in it, which is really cool as well. Yeah, definitely check out Spencer's videos.
For sure, they're all different.
Yeah. Sure. So we were talking about college and dropping out of college, and then you released some songs. You put them up on Spotify.
Yeah.
And where'd to go from there?
I guess like it was really like I had all my songs on SoundCloud for a minute, and kind of made its way to YouTube a little bit. And there were a lot of people who were just like really like pressing me to put it on Spotify, and I guess that was probably the best move. I don't know why I didn't think to put it on Spotify or just like keeping it on SoundCloud. Huh. I think like a lot of artists definitely do that and should put their stuff on Spotify because it actually helps spread your music so much. And Spotify kind of like when I immediately, as soon as I put it on, playlisted it, and like a lot of it just like had like a really good reception, and I was able to like follow that kind of hype with like Want You Back and like the next EP last year. Sort of getting more comfortable in my songwriting and my voice and everything, because singing was like kind of absolutely new for me as of like 2017.
Wow, that's hard to believe. And Want You Back just blew up and has over 5 million views or listens on Spotify. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's crazy. It's crazy.
How did you end up signing with 4AD?
It was like, I guess I want to say 2018, I met Brianna Chang, who's an A&R for 4AD, and she was probably one of the first A&Rs that I've ever met. And it was like around the time that I was definitely getting hit up by like major labels and like other like indie labels and stuff. But with 4AD, I think they were like the most excited, raising their hands the most, and they seemed like they were trying to do something different and actually like cared about the project and the development and everything. So I definitely 4AD just seemed like the right choice, like from the beginning, really.
It's such an iconic label. I've been a big fan of so many bands on that label. The Pixies going way back, and Dead Can Dance, and Cocteau Twins, and most recently, Big Thief, The National, and Future Islands. Great label. So that's very exciting. Why don't we get into the next song? This one, Too Much.
Absolutely.
All right, let's check it out. It's Spencer live on KEXP at home.
Summer's gone. Win or lose, you still bruise. Bring it on. I let you make my moves all too long. that I'm wrong. Go back to where you moved. You belong. Stick around now. If you leave, I'm never gonna find out. Up till late, you're heavy on my mind now. Pick a side, don't get shot down. Lying to myself, I need to lie down. Tearing down the walls, I need to cry now. I need to cry now. I need to cry now.
Spencer live at home on KEXP, and that is a song called Too Much. A beautiful song from Spencer. I also love the video for that one. That is seems like a home movie kind of feel to it.
Definitely those kind of vibes.
Yeah, where was that film?
I think we did some shots at I don't want to say Rockaway Beach in New York. It was here in New York. It was pretty early. It was like kind of like really like gloomy those days. It was just kind of fitting for the video, but yeah, I think Rockaway Beach.
Cool. Yeah, living in Seattle, I can kind of relate to that. I wanted to ask you about the band, the musicians that you're playing with in this video, and also in Automatic.
Yeah, so on guitar, I have Kyla Joy, who's been my friend since high school. We did like tennis together in high school. Played in like 3 or 4 different bands together. And then there's Beshkin, who was on, I think he was just on like a synth, I can't remember what it's called, a mini log maybe. Beshkin or Ben Shirkin. And then Jose Benjamin was on the Moog. Yeah. He was on there playing bass on there. But those are the 2 guys, Ben and Jose, I wrote Automatic with.
Oh, right on.
Cool. Yeah.
Cool. And do you also, I know you had a couple tours, one last year and then earlier this year. Did they go on tour with you?
So I brought Kyle, my guitarist, and then I had another guitarist, Luke Diamond, and a drummer, Mark Ferrer, that we usually do our like full set. And I play bass and sing just like in the video. But
nice.
Yeah.
And did you come to Seattle on that tour?
I did. I can't remember the venue that we played at, but Seattle was one of my favorite shows and also one of my favorite cities. It was sick. It was cool.
Cool. Was that your first time here in Seattle?
It was, yeah.
Nice. Well, I hope you can come back soon. Hope things can get back to where that's possible.
Yeah, I'll definitely be back.
Nice. I wanted to ask you, as far as like you've described yourself as a producer first.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little about that?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I feel like I got into producing through like freestyle rap with my brothers, like in like high school. I would watch like old YouTube videos of like Kendrick Lamar freestyling, and
yeah,
and like I would make beats on my brother's iPad on GarageBand, and we'd like go in the basement and like start like just like freestyling, and then I kind of got more into making the beats than like writing rap. And so from then I like kind of just tried to implement like different instruments and stuff, and like sampling was super cool to me because I was super heavy into like hip hop and rap like in high school, like a lot of jazz as well. So it was just I would definitely say I'm a producer first. That's like the thing that I've been doing for the longest, and it kind of like brings everything together. Like even with vocals, like even when you add vocals, or if you're adding guitar or like bass or just like a synth or anything, it's all aspects of like a beat that you're like producing.
Yeah. So. Well, it really comes across in the music. So in the future, would you like to do some collaborations with some other artists? Anyone in
Absolutely.
particular that comes to mind?
I feel like with my style, I would probably do well with like Reggie Snow or like No Name would be really
Yeah.
sick. Maybe some singers I like. Really think it would be cool. Be cool to work with Porches like James Blake, like really unique voices like that. I feel like would work with like a lot of like cool textures that I bring to the table. So
nice. I look forward to that in the future.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of singers, you toured Europe with Baby Rose. Is that right? Yeah, I love her voice as well.
Yeah, insane.
And was that was early this year?
Yeah, that was in at the end of February, like kind of going into March, like right before quarantine hit. So we were in London when we had to like come back. But it was crazy. It was a great time. It was my first time in Europe, and she's like amazing, and her band is amazing. It was like super cool to just watch. Like, and her band was like a little bit older, so they were like just professionals, and so it was just cool to just be moving with professionals the whole time because you kind of get to see what music professionalism like looks like. So that was really cool.
That's really cool. And pandemic hit right around that time. How did that? Did you have plans to tour beyond that, or was that kind of?
We actually got really lucky because I think only our Paris show got canceled because of COVID. Okay. That was the only one, but we ended our tour in London on the last day. We were there for maybe 2 more days, and then it got announced that we had to like come back to the US.
I see.
So we just left it like 2 days after, but it was pretty good for like timing wise.
Yeah. It sounds like you got to play most of the venues that were planned. I should mention, if you have questions, you can post them in the chat, and we'll get to those as we go through a little bit later. Let's see. I lost where I was going with this. What have you been up to during the pandemic?
Not much. I've been, I guess, trying to work on my album. I've been in Rochester at my parents' house because it's just probably a better place to be than in New York. So for 4 months, when I came back from Europe, I was in my parents' house, just kind of making music, working on my album, and getting a lot of influence from there. In the last month and a half, I've been here back in Brooklyn. Things kind of are seeming to be a little bit more okay here in terms of COVID, which is cool. Started doing like a little bit more sessions and like just meeting a little bit more people. So just feeling kind of optimistic about it. But yeah, just kind of making music, hanging out.
That's great. Well, we look forward to the full length when it's ready to come out. Can't wait for that. Let's get back into another song. Yeah. What's coming up next?
I Want You Back.
I Want You Back. Yes. Spencer, live on KEXP at home with Want You Back.
I still want you back. I still need you back. I still want you back. I still need you back. And I still want you back. And I still need you back. And I still want you back. I still need you back. Something's gotta give now. Always in my head now. Hey, I don't wanna spread out. Please don't leave the bed now. Stay with me instead now. I still want you back. Stay with me and keep my heart intact. And since you left, I don't know how to act. And I still want you back. And I still need you back. I still want you back. And I still need you back. I still need you back. I still want you back. I still. Something's telling me that I'm no better off. All your friends are telling you don't get involved. All your friends are telling me, please know what you telling me. And all your friends are telling you start taking off. And I still want you back. I still need you back. I still want you back. I still.
Spencer live on KEXP at home with Want You Back. And man, so beautiful. It's great song. And over 5 million views on Spotify. Amazing. That's got to be mind-boggling.
It is.
You wrote that song in your basement?
Yeah, I just posted a video of me actually just making the beat for the first time in
oh man,
I guess in 2018. But yeah, I wrote that in my basement, which is kind of where I write most of the songs that are out. I think I kind of get the most inspiration in my basement, because that's kind of where I just learn how to play everything, I think.
Nice.
So it just comes really natural there. But yeah,
it's funny. A lot of musicians are labeled as bedroom producers, but you're really a basement producer.
Yeah. Down 2 floors, the basement, basement pop.
Right. And I think I read that you do a lot of your writing at night, late at night.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's almost impossible for me to not do it at nighttime. I don't know why or what it is. I even do better in night sessions with people. I feel like that's just when the vibes are. There's no other time for vibes in the nighttime. I
feel the same way, actually. I wanted to ask you, of the songs that you've released, there's quite a few different styles going on, and I'm just wondering, are there any styles of music that you'd like to tackle that you haven't already?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like my music is a really well mixed balance of a lot of different genres, and genres aren't really anything that I believe in, but they're easy for people to understand. Right. I would really like to delve more into real R&B, D'Angelo, make a voodoo record, something like that with trumpet arrangements and super just live drums, just a lot of just experimenting with different, going deeper in the genres that I kind of touch on. Yeah. That would be really cool. Even doing a jazz album or a fully indie rock album would be really cool, because I definitely feel there's a lot of things that I kind of touch on, but I want to kind of dig into. Yeah. Well, that sounds, I look forward to that. That's awesome. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about Rochester and the scene there. Is that something that you have been involved in for a while? So I think I heard you mention that has been pretty influential in your musical upbringing. For sure, yeah. When I was in high school, I definitely looked up to a lot of the rappers there. There's definitely a lot of scenes. There's a hardcore scene and a punk scene, and there's a jazz scene because of Eastman and classical. And there's definitely so many different types of music that are kind of displayed in the city. And the one that I kind of gravitated towards was the rap scene. I really Like, and I like knew some of the guys who were rappers there, like Ishmael or like Daru or Kaylee, or just like really just local legends to me in high school. And that kind of sort of got me into like producing because I wanted to be recognized in that scene, or like kind of like appreciated or like noticed. And so I definitely say that's super inspiring to me, because it's like not a lot of people know about Rochester or the scene at all, but it's like I feel like it's the city's support for its artists that like keep the artists like doing what they're doing. So I think that that's just really cool, because like if I was like born and raised in New York, I probably wouldn't care about Rochester at all, which I don't blame. I don't blame those people, but I think what's really special about small town musicians or people from like the middle of nowhere is because I feel like it's like the hometown support that really like brings them up and like influences them, which is cool.
So true. Yeah, very cool. And you did something really cool recently, and you raised some money for Rochester by donating to the Boys and Girls Club there.
Yeah. No, that was crazy, because that I did not like expect that big of like a donation to happen, and it really just kind of it came together definitely with the help of 4AD, and then there was like a fund, like the Glover Crass charitable fund or something, that matched our 5,000 that we raised, and then made it 10,000, which is insane. So there's definitely like overwhelming support, which is just crazy. But yeah, that was like a really awesome thing that like I didn't anticipate happening this year, but I think it's cool because you could really just like have an idea to like do something, and it could be so small, but like your impact could be like a lot bigger than what you would anticipate it to be.
For sure, yeah. I want to mention one more time, if you have any last questions in the chat, we can get to those and answer those for you. Just go to the chat in YouTube. It's Spencer live on KEXP at home. By the way, I'm not at home. I'm actually at KEXP in the live room, which I did not expect. Most of the other DJs who've been doing this have been doing it from home, but somehow I got to do it from the studio, which is very cool.
Yeah, I recognize the lights in the back.
Yes, yeah. Well, I hope we can get you in here when things open back up again.
Me too. I would love that.
Cool. Spencer, do you happen to see anything in the chat you want to?
I see. Have you ever been in a beat battle?
Oh yeah.
That one's kind of funny because I have been in like high school, and I was kind of making just like really like sample based like hip hop, like very like 90s like sounding beats that are like gone from my SoundCloud now. But it was funny because I was probably like 16 or 17, and like everybody else was like 24, like 25, and they've been making beats for so long. And they put me in one round, and I won the first round against like some guy. And then the second round, the guy didn't show up, and they put me against the top guy who always wins, which is Kaylee. He was Kids of Kaylee from Rochester. And I definitely lost, but it was kind of funny because like it wasn't supposed to go like that. But yeah, I've been in a beat battle. I love making beats, and like that whole culture is so sick to me.
Cool. Somebody asked, are you going to be featured in Reggie's new album?
I wish. That would be sick. I wish. I know him. I've hung out with him before, and like I definitely would want to make music with him, but I think it's definitely just like timing. Like I think I know it'll happen. I just gotta just wait for the right time. So
yeah. Somebody asked, Titania asked, when are you dropping your album?
2021, probably in the springtime.
Cool. Can't wait for that. Spencer and Thundercat collab.
That would be sick. My thing is, I would be like, who plays the bass? And it'd probably be him to play the bass. Like I would not play the bass in front of him. I'd leave that for him.
That'd be awesome. Any other questions? Get them in now. somebody said you need to visit the UK, which you did earlier.
I
But,
did. I was supposed to be in London for a month, actually, like right after our tour. Like we did all of our stops, and then we finished in London. I was supposed to stay at the Beggar's House for a month. I was really excited to make music and make a bunch of King Cruel jokes on Twitter. But I didn't get the opportunity to do that. But hopefully when this is over, I'll definitely be back because I love the UK. It's sick.
Nice. I hope you get back there soon. Jackson, many other people have mentioned chicken McNuggets sauce. What sauce for them? I don't know what that means exactly.
Sauce for the sweet and sour sauce or honey mustard.
Nice. That sounds like a good choice.
Yeah.
Nice. We're just going to sit here and read the comments there.
I'm reading those.
There's some good ones.
So it says, how does Spencer feel about his fan base? Are we too much? That's funny. I think you're funny. I think my fan base is really funny, which I love because humor is my favorite thing. That's my favorite.
The comments definitely make that clear.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we'll wrap it up here. But
yeah,
man, great to meet you, and love the music, and look forward to more coming soon.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Spencer. Oh, actually, I had one more question. Is there any story behind the period after Spencer?
Oh yeah. No, not even really. I think it was like really just an emphasis point. I wanted it to be a little bit more recognizable than my first name, but I also wanted it to have the power of just being my first name. And like, it's not even that it's like you're not supposed to say the period because I don't really care. Yeah. But it's like, I think it's distinguishable, which I actually like because I feel like as time went on, like more people were recognizing it through the period. So it did exactly what I was intending on doing.
Totally. It stood out for me as well. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Anderson Paak's Dot in there. So
sure.
I like that. That a lot. Actually, another question came through from Elena. What album have you listened to most in quarantine?
Ooh, okay. Probably Eternal Take by Lil Uzi, or I listen to McGee's album a lot. I've been listening to LP1 a lot. I actually have the record back there under Magdalene. I've been listening to Man Alive a lot, King Cruel for sure.
Yeah. Great record.
Yeah, those ones, I guess. Those are my top.
Nice, thanks. Jerry asks, how did you feel when you first started getting noticed?
Every day was like really exciting. It was like a new thing every single day. And it felt really surreal just because like it didn't really make sense to me because I kind of just put out music for my friends, and I feel like it was literally just like the overwhelming support of like my hometown that enabled me to like make it past just my hometown, which is sick. Which is so cool.
No, it really is. Yeah. Well, cool. Well, it's going to happen many, many days in the future. Are you going to drop a new single soon? Asks Tatiana.
I'm thinking maybe one more before the end of the year, but I also don't want to give away too much of the album, so that's subject to change for sure. Makes
sense. Well, cool. Well, can't wait for 2021. It's not too far away, and thank you, Spencer, for coming in. Not coming in, but hanging out at home, live on KEXP.
Absolutely.
I'm Larry Rose, and thank you all for watching. Thanks for the questions, and see you soon.
See ya.
It's KEXP Seattle.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.